Ladies and gentlemen, it is a very, very great Monday indeed. A very hot Monday and a very happy Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Monday. And you know why it's a happy Monday? Because we are back. The buzz is back. We
The
are your
buzz is
hosts.
back
That's right.
after a
That's right.
long time. I
It's
don't know, it's
been a
been
very
about a
long
month
time.
and a half or so.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your hosts, DJ Kings and Tim, and we are back on the buzz giving you your daily impulsive information on technology, business, and entrepreneurship. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, keep your ears peeled, and we're going to give you every single bit of advice to keep your profits high and your problems low.
Right, exactly. Now, talking about performance and, just jumping straight right into it, right? We're talking about AR and VR. AR stands for augmented reality, and then VR is virtual reality. Now, there will be a ton of different questions in the lines of what is, how they're different to each other, but
Yeah.
that, and also, why we should be looking at it. But these two technological, I'd say, advances are as important as switching from the mobile phone that was in usage back in 2005, and then the switch up to the smartphone. It is as important as that switch up. So if you are looking to be updated on what's going on, make sure you're logged in for the next half hour of the show. Kings and I will be breaking it down for you. We'll be helping you understand who is actually getting into the business, and who's actually looking at innovating. Who's actually adding value, and then where is the industry going. So yeah, this show is sponsored by Nanaska, that is the SEMA education partner. Make sure you check them out. We'll be showing you a quick video on who they are as well. But coming into the conversation, Kings, when we talk about the headsets that you can actually buy,
Yeah.
the brands that are actually looking at getting into VR and AR, who is exactly getting into this? What news do we have to talk about?
Well, do you know what the crazy thing is after we had heard so much news on just, their technological strides and everything that they've been doing in terms of, the newest pair of headphones, or, their ideas of wanting to incorporate a new car. It is indeed Apple. Apple have struck it again.
Exactly. So just to add to what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have the headsets that are looking to come out. You have the
Yeah.
car that is also looking at coming out. It's all going to be in this Apple ecosystem, and rumor is that these will be the last new products that Tim Cook will be actually delivering before he resigns or retires.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. Apple have really been taking a lot of technological strides, and to be honest, at this point, I feel like I hate to say it. It seems as though Apple is taking over the world. As far as anything's concerned, that's how it sounds. Apple
Yeah, I
is looking
mean,
to take over the
they
world.
are actually adding a lot of value to their ecosystem, and it's not necessarily the wide reach that they're going for, but the people that they have within their ecosystem, they just keep creating deeper connection and more service or value to their current customers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And with the amount of value that they've already added on to their customers with the new AirPods Max, that's currently, I'm not even too sure, but I'm pretty sure it's out at the moment. And with their ideas of working with a car company to be able to create a electric car that can actually challenge Tesla. So, we've heard about that. We've heard about all of this information from how many months ago, that's still, I believe, currently within talks of processing and progression. Now we're hearing about that. We're hearing that there's rumors about Apple getting into AR/VR, and it's designed to rely on another device, and it may offload more processor heavy tasks to a connected iPhone or Mac. And this is literally
Yeah.
just a report coming from the information. So looking into this whole conversation about Apple wanting to incorporate AR and VR, I feel like this is good for them in terms of, like, we're looking from a business standpoint. This is going to provide them a lot more money, because with things such as let's not say with things such as virtual reality and augmented reality, which is already popular in the technological world. It's a very popular standpoint, and you know a lot of people want to get into it. There are a lot of videos. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of videos that you've been sending me on Instagram that I've been taking a look at. You know, the virtual reality,
It,
people playing them in games and stuff like that.
it's
And
completely changing the interaction, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
to another level. Like, I mean,
yeah,
instead of just getting the feel of the third person view, it's like you're actually that person doing whatever they're doing, and
yeah,
it's
literally.
it's as fast as your head moves around.
Mm,
If you want to, it's just I just don't know where to start and finish. I mean, there's so much you can do if you're like a Jedi, right? And you have these the joysticks as well. And
mm,
instead of just sticking to the keyboard and the mouse from before, or just your mobile phone, the screen,
yeah, yeah,
you're actually, it's like you're actually acting out your tasks or what your commands are for the game, and it
yeah,
does it live. It's super cool. And if it's GTA, if it is Star Wars, if it is
yeah.
whatever it is, it's super cool.
Exactly. So obviously, you know, looking at those videos and we can see how well VR works with, let's just say, gaming systems, because gaming systems are required to be very powerful so that they can load a lot of games that take up a lot of memory. So we've seen how VR works really well with gaming systems. Now we're looking at how VR is trying to be, how Apple are trying to incorporate VR into their, let's say, ecosystem. Now, how they're going to do it, for what reason, we don't know the purpose yet. We've seen how Samsung have done it with their brand, and it's worked really, really well. So the good thing about virtual reality and augmented reality, it does do favors for Apple because of the fact that we know that it's something that's popular, and we know that it's something that can actually, you know, provide a lot more, let's say, services. We'll say services towards Apple, and because of that, we know how popular it is. What happens with popularity, it can also turn into revenue. So because of the fact that because of the fact that virtual reality and augmented reality is popular, people are going to want to buy. And what there's always one thing we know about people that own Apple. We know one thing about Apple consumers. Every time there's something new, they are going to buy it. They don't waste
Yeah,
time. They
it's
are
it's
going to
just
buy it.
that it's just that that I mean, that market, right? It's
Yeah.
all about the brand. It's all about staying relevant, or showing it to
Mm,
I mean, it's a I mean, I don't mean to standardize or normalize or assume like that, but in
mm,
majority, right, you have
yeah.
people even lining up at the store days before a new product is actually released. And
Yeah.
to go into that extent, I'd say the brand value, or the persona that they've come to is pretty significant.
Yeah, exactly. And even speaking on their persona as well, they've done so well for themselves in terms of being able to achieve a particular pedestal. So it's along with Samsung, who have reached a particular pedestal in being able to provide services for their customers, and why they're always constantly being able to get people back. Same thing with Apple. Although I know the comparison in terms of Apple and Samsung, yes, there is a fair they do fair in comparison in terms of things that they can both provide. We've seen how Apple, what it is with Apple is the fact that because of how their apps are and everything that works, there's a lot of things that Apple has that works in their favor. So let's say, for example, going into things like FaceTime, going into things like a lot of the apps that are specifically boiled down to just Apple alone, even Snapchat, because every time you update the app itself, it updates with the whole phone, making sure that the app constantly looks good. So along with
Exactly.
that,
And
yeah.
yeah.
So literally along with that, it's also beneficial whenever it comes down to, you know, the conversation of VR being incorporated into Apple. It works, you know?
So, breaking down the new brands that are actually getting into this, with using the biometrics, at least of, the iPhone alone, you now can come to a phase where I've seen a ton of these videos that will actually let you walk into, an unknown room or a
Mm,
space, and
yeah.
with your smartphone, with the iPhone, you can basically just scan the room around, and it
Yeah,
creates a three-dimensional figure of what it looks like. So you can actually put it onto a document, and
yeah,
if you're making a game, if you're making a video game out of it or something like that, you can actually just like um you can actually see what the whole thing looks like. It's super cool,
yeah,
because when you're looking at creating, let's say, a real, if it comes to architecture or something like that, you can actually understand it'll how it'll switch up the interaction or scanning a space. Because when it
mm,
comes to when it comes to scanning a new place, if you're looking to renovate something, let's say
yeah,
your living room, right? What I, as an architect, would be doing in 2 years time is I'll be coming in and just scanning the whole place around. I'll get
mm,
colored, I'll get size wise a whole visual scan up of your location, and I can
mm,
just have it in my pocket immediately, take it back to my office, look at
mm,
what I can switch up, and it's super cool. So just like you said, the exclusivity of these features, that is what they look to have, and impress or turn on probable users towards the Apple platform through these features.
yeah,
So, I mean, just like the thing where we were talking about this as well. We were talking about how when you use Instagram,
mm,
if you're on Samsung or Android, for Android in general, your
yeah,
your camera quality can be so much better than Apple, to be honest. But the way
mm,
it integrates with the app is
yeah,
something that could you might have to compromise on the quality that is published.
yes, yeah,
Whereas on Apple, it's pretty much the same quality that you shoot on. So
mm,
that way, I think a lot of creators have been the creator market has been dominated, I'd say, by Apple because of this simple feature alone. And it's little things like this that actually, like you said, they add up to actually having that value or that
yeah.
relationship with the brand.
Yeah, and obviously with the fact that things, apps like social media apps like Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, we've got all of these apps that are very prominently used by people just in general, and what people want is an app that either what people would want is for these social media apps to either look nice or provide them like with very good services or just something to be able to make them want to come back, and as I've already mentioned before, Snapchat does work very well with Apple. I feel as though it is more tailored to Apple's taste in terms of making things look good. With Android, it's, how do I put it? With let's say for example the camera quality. I always have these conversations with so many people. So we have both camera qualities side by side. Although the general Android camera itself is decent, it is pretty good. When you go to the Snapchat camera, it's because of how much effort that the Snapchat producers and everyone would have to put into making sure every single camera looks good on Snapchat, as in being able to upgrade the whole phone along with the app. There's
Yeah,
too many different variations of Android. So not because there's not only Samsung, there's also the HTC, there's the Oppo, there's the
exactly. It's the
OnePlus.
whole Android market,
Yeah,
and
the
I mean
whole
it's
Android
it's a
market
give
is
and
too
take
big.
there. Because sorry.
Yeah, it's too big, as in the whole Android market is too big, whereas just the Apple
Exactly. I
Apple
mean, it's a
itself is
give
just
and
one
take,
line.
like I said.
Mm.
There's a whole market now. It's good in a way that there's so many providers for it. There's, like you
Yeah.
said, Apple. I mean, there's Samsung, HTC, Oppo.
Mm.
There's so many providers for the Android space that they keep competing with each other, keep bringing out more innovative solutions as well. But
Yeah.
it's because of that variety that is the con there. Because it's because of that variety that
Mm.
whatever apps actually don't specialize in algorithm integration with just one person.
Yeah. There we go. Exactly. So it's it's pretty much with this whole debate over both phones, the Android and the iPhone, as we already know. It's because of how big the market is. They chose to either simplify it down and make it a case where every single Android every time they update the app, they're all pretty much going to be the same. So it's going to be a screenshot of what their camera is going to be like, what their actual camera is, but it will be a screenshot of what it will be like on the actual app itself. Meanwhile, when you update the Snapchat app on an iPhone, everything updates wholesomely. Like you get the whole update with the phone and the camera itself, so everything looks clear. There's so much
Yeah,
more in
yeah,
between the lines of being able to understand it, but that is just like the basic of it. That is the basic understanding of it.
yeah,
So again, going back to the VR conversation of that, when you're having all of these updates, when you're having a phone that's being able to update everything to its full potential, you'll have something like VR, which could be able to provide you with endless possibilities. If we're being really
yeah,
honest,
yeah.
like
Like now, you were talking about VR, right? Now that
yeah,
architecture example that I gave. We're at the 15-minute point of the show. We'll be taking a quick break right now, but imagine when I scan that room, I redesign the room for you, and
yeah,
then I come to you with a headset, and you actually walk around the room, in the wearing the headset, right? And
yeah,
you actually
yeah,
have a look at what the space will look like. So you get so much of a better feel as to what your space will look like. And
yeah,
at your will, you can actually switch up, the wall colors, the sofas that you have, the colors of the sofa, the rugs or
yeah,
the tiles.
yeah,
Imagine that whole experience, right? This is what AR and VR will be doing to, you know, I'd say just amp up different interactions with industries and understanding how tech can improve the interaction between a customer and what their next phase can be like.
yeah,
So yeah, I
yeah,
mean, we're Kings and I will be basically breaking down the different the headset brands that are actually looking at getting into the market. You're on Relax Radio. This is the Buzz with DJ Kings and Tim. Make sure you're tuned in for the next 15 minutes. We'll be right back. Good afternoon.